Hendon Hooker is the 6th ranked quarterback in power rankings. Now he sits behind C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young, Drake May from North Carolina, which is a random.
A freshman, a true freshman that is, killing it at North Carolina. Yes.
I mean, he really is. Have we seen, what is it? Trubisky came from North Carolina?
Mitch Trubisky came in, but he,
Yeah.
he was a late bloomer, and some may say still trying to bloom in the NFL. But Drake Mays, he's better than the Sam Howell kid that came out of North Carolina last. So he's really, really good. They don't play much defense, but he is very good, and they've got a lot of weapons too.
Yeah. And listeners, we will get to your questions, I promise. And Crazy Nugs, yeah, I'll get to that too. But we're gonna go down this list, and I just want Coach Landry's opinion on which quarterback he would take out of this list and why you'd take them. So at number 4, we have Caleb Williams with the USC. Number 5, Grayson McCall with Coastal Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
So that some of these names are kind of just crazy to me. Hendon Hooker falling in at number 6. Jalen Daniels with Kansas. Never thought I'd see a Kansas quarterback on this list, but here we are. This is the new day in sports, new day in college football. We have number 8, Dylan Gabriel out of Oklahoma. Number 9, Todd Santio?
Yes.
James Madison.
James Madison, obviously big win last week over App State.
Yeah, which is, and somebody on College Game Day, I don't remember who it was, called it, and I was like, well, but I mean, it's true. It happened, so that's pretty crazy considering App State beat Texas A&M. It's been a cycle this year. It's been a cycle. It's been, I think, a little bit more so than it normally is. You see some upsets, but not like you've seen this year. And number 10, falling at number 10 is Tanner Morgan from Minnesota. Again, not a school I would expect to be on this list. So do you think with the QB power rankings, do you think they're necessarily in order of skill set, or do you think it's more just numbers?
It's more numbers, and it's more style and scheme of play. A lot of people will say, well, who do you like the best? And well, it depends on what we're talking about. If we're talking about college quarterback, a pro prospect, those are different answers to different questions. I think what's important too, and this is kind of the real secret sauce of scouting and evaluating, is how does a player fit into a certain system? So Hendon Hooker's a great fit at Tennessee, but he's different than some other quarterbacks. Of the guys that are really good, that fit their system, but has a tremendous skill set to even do things on a different level, I'd probably say C.J. Stroud of Ohio State. Loaded with talent. That's a receiving core that's the best in the country. Ohio State's, improved defensively. They can get 3 good running backs. C.J. Stroud's special. I mean, he can. It's a little different offense than what Tennessee runs, but he's really good. Caleb Williams is outstanding. You mentioned Jalen Daniels from Kansas. Lance Leipold's done a great job with him, and they run a lot of RPO and a lot of option stuff with them. So, with Hendon Hooker, it's more of a passing game. It's more of a quick passing game. It's a one read type of offense, but he's very, very good at it. And I know that Tennessee probably wouldn't trade him for anybody. And probably some of those other teams certainly wouldn't trade their guys for, anybody either. That's just kind of the way it is. But that's a good list. And, yet we haven't even talked about the guys who may be some of the better pro prospects. A guy that Tennessee's going to face this year, and Will Levis of Kentucky, who's more of a pure drop back guy that has better pro potential. And is really doing a good job for a Kentucky team that's got a big matchup this week, by the way, against Ole Miss, of throwing the football all across the yard. So, yeah, there's a lot of good ones. But statistically, the numbers are not going to be there because they have a completely different style of offense. The numbers are good, but they're not as gaudy because it's a different style.
Yeah, I mean, that's That is very true. It is a different style of offense. Going to the Kentucky Ole Miss game, we talked Will Levis. I have kind of a thing against Will Levis, and that's just his coffee style. I'm a very big coffee
Oh,
person.
he's the guy that put the mayonnaise in the coffee. Oh,
Oh,
that's disgusting. Yeah, that's really
thank you.
that'll turn people's stomach early in the morning, huh? Yeah, that was pretty
Well,
bad. Yeah, I forgot
yes,
about that. I forgot completely about that. I was wondering
yeah.
where's she going with that? The coffee.
Ugh, that coffee thing. And the good thing though about, coffee that you don't have to put mayonnaise in is honeybee coffee.
There you
That's
go.
a good
That's what he
coffee.
needs to be on is honeybee coffee.
Yeah,
Stop
get
that
you
nonsense with the mayonnaise.
no, get some honeybee coffee, Will Levis, and call it a day. So for today's tough question, Coach Landry, I'm thinking let's go with like what quarterback would you rather have?
Out of that group, it would be C.J. Stroud. I think he can do more things, running and throwing, and I think um, uh, I would take him. Um, I would probably take as a college quarterback. Again, in Tennessee's system, I think Hendon Hooker's outstanding. Is next level guy, different. I'd probably put somebody like Will Levis or even Caleb Williams as guys that can do a little bit more. Caleb Williams is obviously the former Oklahoma quarterback that's gone out to USC. Has been really good, but all those guys that you mentioned are having really good years. Like Tanner Morgan, for example, is done a really good job for Minnesota. I think they're the best team in the Big Ten West. Um, but I don't think they his numbers are largely due to a very weak schedule. Although they blew out Michigan State, so let's give them credit for that. But yeah, I think all that group that you mentioned is a pretty good group.
Yeah, they definitely are. What do you think makes Hendon as good as he is? I know it's Heupel's offense, has a lot to do with it, but what are his attributes? What does he have that makes him work in Heupel's offense so well?
Well, I think he does. It's a one read offense predominantly, but the difficulty is the tempo and the poise and the leadership. I think that's what stands out um, to me for that he does. Uh, Making sure that things are handled at the line of scrimmage well, and he gets the ball off quickly, gets it to the right guy. Again, it's a lot of predetermined stuff, so he's not going through progressive reads. But and I think while his accuracy has been questioned at times, and fairly so, he's been pretty effective. The biggest thing though is the poise, and to this stage, and I'm going to reach for some wood, knock on it. He has not turned the football over, and that's what's pivotal. You can be a really good offense and score a bunch of points. If you turn the football over, it's diminishing returns. So it's the ability to be able to move the team quickly, get in a scoring position, um, and also not turn it over. That is critically important. And so I think that's what he does well. In short, he just runs this offense well. And you can't assume, even though it's quarterback friendly, that just anybody can do it. That is not the case. He has learned, he is a really good young man. He is very smart. And he's really picked things up very quickly in Josh's offense. So I think he's much more comfortable running it now than he was last year.